I was watching Gavin Bowie's speech at the European Parliament from 2012, and his final words struck me. Because most of you know that we fought a struggle against racial policing, against the radical left in Caledonia. Some of you may know Palestinian flag was raised there in 2006. Every anti-Israel group that hates Israel, that is involved in Toronto, here in Toronto, involved in Israel Apartheid Week, CAW, QP, steelworkers, anarchists, Marxists, communists, every one of them are in Caledonia. We've been fighting Israel's enemies there for almost 6 years now. They're led by a guy named Tom Kiefer of QP 3903 at York University. We've used the courts. We've become experts, and I'm being generous with myself. Gary McHale, who just received the Queen's Jubilee Medal, one of the ones that really did deserve it, has won it all the way at every court level up to the Ontario Court of Appeal. We became experts in private prosecutions. We've prosecuted Native militants, gotten charges where the police have refused to act. We prosecuted police officers. We're the guys that got Julian Fantino charged with threatening elected officials. We're the guys that got the current commissioner charged with obstructing justice. We're the guys that got his superintendent, Ron Gentle, charged with obstructing justice. We're the guys that got 2 police officers who we filmed building a barrack, helping the Native militants build a barricade to keep their lawful owner out of his own property. We got them charged with mischief too. And it's that. So Gavin Bowie's final words from the European Parliament really struck a note with me. And I have to quote them. The touchstone is that we should resist everywhere the persecution of Jews. Not one Jewish person should feel under threat from any quarter. Finally, hold the line on the law. Use the law. Use it to turn the tables on the opposition. It may be tempting. People have every incentive not to respect the law. But if you try to short-circuit the law through disorder, you will regret it. One day the law will be applied even-handedly, and we will win. Thank you. Those were his final words. We have faced down the radical left in Caledonia. They're still there. Racial policing is still there. I've been arrested 5 times for the crime of trying to put up a Canadian flag and for trespassing, quotes, on a publicly owned county road. Racial policing is still practiced there. But we have gone from a situation where the Native militants ripped Caledonia apart and destroyed a bridge and burnt down the hydro station and put people in the hospital, and to the point now where at our last protest in September, we were able to sit in lawn chairs with our backs to the police with a handful of Native militants standing behind them, forlornly looking at us from behind. And we actually ordered a pizza and had it there. Okay? These people can be faced down. How? We use the courts, private prosecutions. And the other thing we use is Martin Luther King Jr.'s techniques of nonviolent resistance. They used to bus these radicals in from Toronto and all over just to try and provoke us and yell at us and scream at us, to try to get us to react with angry words and violence. One of our members has brain damage. Gary McHale has been in the hospital. I've been assaulted. We've all been smeared as racist and white supremacists. And so Gavin Bowie's words ring very true to me. Rely on the law and use the law. Now, if you just take a couple of seconds, I just want to highlight a couple of speakers. If you just pull out your flyer here, on the back, there's just some of the speakers. I want to tell you, this is amazing. We held our first conference last year after some Jewish students were intimidated at Western University. I got so angry, I said, enough, this has to end. We put together the first conference. Rabbi Jonathan Hausman, the warrior rabbi, friend of Geert Wilders, flew up to Canada to speak at that event, and after it was over, he said, this has to be 2 days this year. And now it is. We're in one of the largest Christian churches in Hamilton. We have the executive director from the Alid Children's Hospital. How many of you know Alid? Okay, they treat kids, Arab, Jewish, Christian, in Israel, we have the executive director from the New York office coming up at their own expense to speak. Rabbi Hausman coming up at his own expense to speak. His brother Matthew Hausman, lawyer in Connecticut, coming up to speak. We have Tammy Rossman Benjamin, an expert in fighting anti-Semitism on campus. Boy, she's waged quite a battle. She is not one speaker is charging a fee to come and be here. They are coming to be with us. Gary McHale will be there. And one of our day one, we're going to have an expert who's right in the room. And he's so modest, he doesn't like me calling him an expert. Solomon Ben Zimra will deliver the afternoon keynote. He will talk about Israel's legal rights. We have a student from McMaster. We have a professor from McMaster. We have all these people coming in. And I hope that you will come and be with us for these days. And we have another very important speaker. Meyer Weinstein is coming to speak. Not only are they coming to speak, last year I was worried about security. They drove to London and showed how professional they were and provided security. They are coming again to Hamilton, a little closer this time, Mayor. They are coming to Hamilton to provide security for free for 2 days.
Wow.
Okay, what a commitment. That's the caliber of people that you have around you. I'm very grateful to Mayor and to JDL and all of you wonderful people here. And if it wasn't for that fact, this conference could not go on, because I was asked once recently, what's your budget for this thing, by a Jewish leader who might want to help. And I finally gave him a weird look. He said, okay, well, what's your expenses? Oh, that's a better question. I have no. So anyways, if you can't come, would you please consider strongly. The Alin Hospital has created a special donation page just for Israel Truth Week. And the address is on the sheet here, on the front. Would you please consider going and making even a small donation? They're registered in Canada, and you'll get a tax receipt. And thank you very much all. I can't wait to hear from Mr. Bowlby and